What's up, y'all? So with today's video, I want to talk about the 5 things that I wish I knew before I started my manifestation journey. And I want to share these things with the intention that it either sparks an aha moment in you, or it helps shift you in some type of way, or really just shows you that manifestation is super simple and it's not as hard as people make it seem, and it's not all this work like some people make it seem. So before we get into the video, if you haven't done so already, I created a Manifest My Dream Life ebook. It's free. I also created a free Discord community where you can connect with other like-minded individuals. The link for both of those is going to be in the description below. But other than that, let's go ahead and get into the video. Okay, so the first thing that I want to point out that I wish I would have known in the beginning of my manifestation journey is you don't have to be perfect. Like, you do not have to be perfect all the time. And you've probably heard other people say this because it is such a freeing realization that you don't have to be perfect. For me, I thought I had to do a gratitude journal every single day. I thought I had created a poster and put it on my wall, and every day I would write things that I was manifesting that I was grateful for, and I would write it in the sense of I'm grateful for having this thing, like as if I already have it. And then throughout my day, I would pay attention to things that I would be grateful for, and I would write those things down and put it on my board. And while that is a very uplifting activity to do, and there's nothing wrong with doing it, is it required to manifest? No. And I thought that I had to be grateful and show gratitude all day long to manifest the things that I wanted. And the crazy thing is, the things that I was showing gratitude for, I wasn't even manifesting it. That's the crazy part. Like, I'm over here trying to be this perfect person, trying to be so high frequency, so high vibrational, just so positive all day long. And the things that I was being grateful for and writing down in my journal, like I would write down a certain number of things that I was grateful for every single day. And again, it was a great activity, but is it needed to manifest? No. If you are somebody who feels like you have to show gratitude to the universe, or you have to show gratitude for already having this thing, in order for it to manifest, I just want you to know you are literally creating that assumption for yourself. You are creating a reality where it is reflecting back to you that you have to be grateful, because that's basically what you're conditioning yourself to believe. And again, there's nothing wrong with showing gratitude and being grateful for things, but you just don't have to do it to manifest. I can guarantee you there are so many people in this world who are not showing gratitude or not expressing gratitude, and they are literally getting every single thing that they want. And that is because of their identity. It is not because of gratitude. So if you're somebody who feels like you have been trapped in the gratitude hamster wheel, the gratitude spiral, allow this to free you, because you don't have to do that. If that is something that has been stressing you out daily, like, oh, I have to be grateful for this and that, take a break from it, okay? When you wake up in the day, express gratitude for being awake. Express gratitude for the day that you're about to live. Express gratitude for already having everything that you desire, and then go on about your day. Like, you don't have to stress yourself out about it. The second thing that I wish I knew when I started my manifestation journey is, it's not the techniques that's manifesting, it's you. I came from the law of attraction. And for those of you who came from the law of attraction, you already know. There were so many different techniques. There were so many different ways to manifest. Try this powerful technique. Do this. You're doing this wrong. This technique is the most powerful. Do this before you go to bed at night. It's so many techniques. And at the end of the day, they all work the same. So if you want to go burn a bay leaf, which I've done before, wrote something on a bay leaf, burned it, and a little bit of it happened, but not the whole thing. It doesn't matter the technique that you use. And for me personally, I used to bounce around from technique to technique to technique, okay? So I was doing the 5x55, and then I was doing the water method, and then I was doing the bay leaf, and then I was scripting, and I am doing all of these different techniques. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, I have to try something different because this technique didn't work. So now I have to try a new one because this technique didn't work. So now I am basically identifying as a person who has to try a bunch of different techniques because none of them are working, and that is still implying that I don't have what I want. And one of the biggest things that I've learned with manifestation is it's literally your identity. Who are you identifying as? So if you are identifying as somebody who is using a technique and it's not working, and you have to keep changing your technique until you find one that works, that is just you creating. You're creating a reality where those techniques are not working for you. My best advice that I can give you is pick a technique that feels good to you. Pick a technique that resonates with you. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's meditation, SATs, scripting, robotic affirmations, visualization, doesn't matter, okay? Whatever technique it is that you choose, and tell yourself that it always works for you, and it always works so fast. Like, you can meditate and get whatever you want. You can robotically firm and get whatever you want. You can script and get whatever you want. Identify as that person, and that is going to shift you completely, instead of identifying as a person who has to keep trying all these different techniques, and then by the end of the day you're burnt out because you've tried so many different techniques within the day and you just feel like nothing is working. And again, you're experiencing a hamster wheel. There are so many different ways that you can experience a hamster wheel with reality creation, with manifestation, and it's just an unconscious thing that you probably are just not aware of. Like, take yourself off the hamster wheel. No more thousands of different techniques, all right? Choose one. Choose one that you actually enjoy doing. Choose one that feels good, and tell yourself that it works every single time. And no matter what, it doesn't matter if you sit in an hour meditation and you come out and you don't have the thing that you want just yet, you are still to identify as the version of yourself who, yes, meditation works for you. It works very fast for you, and you always get what you want. Because the moment you identify as somebody who doesn't have, that's the reality that you're going to experience. So the goal is to continue to identify as the person who does have, and that is the whole goal of the technique to begin with. The technique is not manifesting. The technique is helping you to stay in that state of being, so that you can hold that state of being. You can basically live, exist, ground yourself in that state of being, and then that state of being is reflected back to you in your reality. The third thing that I wish I knew is that nothing is hard or difficult, and everything just is. Literally everything is. We are the ones who are assigning meaning to every single thing in our life. We assign meaning to the people, to the experiences, to the resistance, the blockages, how difficult things are, how easy things are for us. And I just want you to take a moment to think about that, because I once used to be a person that was like, oh my gosh, this is so hard. It's not working. And especially when it came to manifesting people, I would be like, this is so hard. They're not doing what I want them to do. Why are they not showing up the way that I want them to? Like, this is difficult. And I was creating all of that for myself. And I know that now. I see how I did that. So the way that you can approach this is, nothing is hard. Nothing is difficult. And I want you to take a second and really think about that. Think about something in your life that you believe is easy for you. And it doesn't matter what it is. You could maybe think that cooking is so easy. You could maybe think that singing is so easy. You could maybe think that manifesting people is so easy, or manifesting money is easy. Think of something that you perceive to be easy, and think about how easy that stuff comes to you. And I want to tell you why it's so easy, because you are identifying as a person who that thing is easy for. And now think about something that you perceive as difficult, something you perceive as hard. It's so hard for me to be consistent. It's so hard for me to get up on time. It's so hard for me to not procrastinate. Right? Think about something that you perceive as hard. And those things that I named are things that I used to identify as hard. The only reason why those things seem hard is because you're telling yourself that it's hard. And therefore, the story that you tell yourself, the identity that you are assuming that something is hard, that is reflected into your reality. And the easiest shift you can make is to basically break up with it. Okay. Break up with that identity. Break up with telling yourself that something is hard, that something is difficult. And trust me, I get it. There are things that you can feel like you have been manifesting for a year, 2 years, months, and you feel like nothing's changing. There's no movement. Nothing is happening. That is just a story that you're telling yourself. Again, it's about your identity. If you're identifying as somebody where things are not moving, things are not changing, then guess what? They can't change. They can't move. Even though things are always moving and nothing is solid, nothing is stagnant, nothing is standing still in place, like things are always moving. But because you, the observer, is identifying as someone who things are hard and they're not moving and nothing has changed yet and it's been months, that is why it hasn't changed. And I want y'all to really let that soak in. You're only making things hard for yourself because you're identifying as someone who it's hard for. All right. The moment you stop telling yourself it's not working, nothing has changed, I've done everything that I can do and nothing has worked, stop doing that and start just telling yourself how easy it was and how it worked so fast for you. Just start telling yourself the new story. The trick is you have to change who you're being first before the physical can change. Nothing outside of you is really outside of you. It is a reflection of you. So if nothing has changed in your seeming reality, it's because you haven't changed internally. You have not changed your identity. You are still identifying as a person who it's hard for, who it's difficult for, who doesn't have, who is without, who is still waiting on. Stop identifying as those versions and identify as the version who has it. And you have to find inner strength. Yes, you have to find inner strength to maintain that new identity, maintain that state of being. You have to parent yourself and remind yourself, no, this is what I said it is. This is what it's going to be. It's done. And the more you can do that, the less resistance you'll feel, the less difficult it'll feel. All of that's, it's all an illusion anyway, and it's all going to fade. All right. Just start telling yourself a different story, and please stop telling yourself how hard things are and how difficult things are. I used to complain about that all the time, and I would wonder why things weren't working for me. And then the moment that I stopped complaining about it and just didn't care about it no more, it would show up in my reality. The reason why is because I stopped identifying as a person who didn't have, who it was hard for, who it wasn't working for. And the moment I stopped identifying as that version of myself, it opened up and allowed room for the things to actually happen for me. The fourth thing that I wish I knew is that everyone is you pushed out. And a lot of you know this already. If you are well into the law of assumption community, then you know that everyone is you pushed out. Everyone is just a reflection of your own assumptions. But how I even got into manifestation to begin with, I was just wanting to manifest a specific person. And I was trying all these different techniques and subliminals and trying to figure out why it wasn't working and why these people were showing up the way that they were in my reality. And I saw them as separate from me. And nobody is separate from you. And you can prove that to be true to yourself with thought transmission. You can think of somebody and they call you or they text you or you run into them, or somebody could be on your mind and then they tell you that you've been on their mind too. You can think about somebody with a specific hairstyle and they show up with that hairstyle or a specific outfit. Thought transmission is instant. It's real. It happens, and we overlook it so much, or we chalk it up to coincidence, and nothing is a coincidence. My favorite audio book, One Truth, One Law, I Am, I Create by Aaron Worley. In that book, they say coincidences is just evidence that your thoughts create, and I wholeheartedly believe that. It is just evidence that your thoughts are creating. So thought transmission, when you think of somebody, however you are thinking of that person, that is how they're going to show up in your reality. You cannot get mad at somebody for how they show up in your world. That was a tough pill for me to swallow because I used to get so mad and so aggravated with how people were showing up, how people treated me. But at the end of the day, once I fully became conscious and aware of life and how it works, it was all me and me creating these situations and scenarios with people People treated me the way that they did because of how I assumed them to be, how I viewed myself. You know what I mean? So if you are somebody who is struggling with manifesting an SP or manifesting any specific person, it's your assumptions about them that are being reflected back to you. It is not them choosing to treat you a certain way, unless you are just giving them that power and that free will. But in my opinion, people just don't have free will because you're assuming them to be a certain way. So my advice is this: assume the best of any and everybody that you come in contact with. Assume the best of your SP. Assume the best of yourself, and you will get those reflected back to you. The last thing that I wish I knew before I started my manifestation journey is the universe is not testing you. The universe is not testing you. I had this one so bad. I always thought that I was being tested. I always thought that my patience were being tested, and I had to remain faithful and stick to this, even though things weren't going my way. And things were only not going my way because I was complaining about things not going my way. So I was creating this whole tornado for myself. The universe is not testing you. There's nothing testing you. If you feel like you are being tested, you're creating those tests for yourself because you believe that you are being tested. You are identifying as a person who is being tested, and therefore you experience tests showing up in your reality. Nothing is testing you. Nothing. And when I tell y'all that one really freed me, like that one freed me so much because I was in a chokehold. That one had me in a chokehold. Like, every day I'm walking around thinking I'm being tested. Oh, this is a test. That's a test. There are no tests. There are no tests. Please hear me when I say that. Free yourself. There are no tests. Stop telling yourself you're being tested. Stop telling yourself something outside of you is testing you to see if you're worthy enough of your desire. The simple fact that you are existing, you are worthy for your desire. The simple fact that you can fathom it, you can imagine it, you are worthy. If you can imagine something, then you're worthy of having it. All right. Remind yourself of that and for yourself, because there are no tests. There are zero tests. Now, I do want to tell you that out of all of these things that I wish I knew, the biggest lesson that I have learned, and I've said it within this video, but the biggest lesson that I've learned about life, about reality creation, about manifestation, about our entire existence is your identity. Who are you identifying as? It is so important. Sit down and ask yourself, who are you identifying as? Are you identifying as the version of you who doesn't have what you want? Are you constantly saying what you don't have? Are you telling yourself it's not working? Are you reaching out to coaches saying, I've tried for months and nothing has changed? Because if that is your identity, that is your reality. So if you want your reality to change your identity, okay? Nothing else matters, not the technique, not the universe and the test, not how hard or difficult something may seem, none of that, okay? Your perception of yourself, your perception of who you are and what is possible for you. And you don't even have to believe that something is possible for you. You just have to identify as a person who has it and repeatedly identify as a person who has it. And that is where repetition comes in, because if you have previous experiences that have, kind of altered your experience a little bit or altered your mind to believe in what's possible and not possible, repetition breaks through that. Repetition creates that new timeline for you. Repetition creates that new reality for you. It is very important to remain consistent no matter what. It doesn't matter if your reality seems like it's going the opposite way of what you're affirming for. You are still to remain consistent, persistent in identifying as the person who has. And I did create a consistency workshop. It was to help you be consistent and disciplined for 30 days. And if you're interested in something like that, I will leave a link down for you below. I'll leave a discount code in the comments below for you, because it's something that is really great. Like I pride myself in wanting to be consistent daily, and the more that you do it, the easier it becomes. So I really intend that this video helped you in some type of way. If you have any questions or comments for me, or any type of video that you want to see from me going forward, just leave them in the comments below. Other than that, if you watch this video until the end, I appreciate you so much, and I will see y'all in the next video.